to all of you. Thank you very much for attending this meeting. As Bhavna said, after 15 years and 15 years of some successes, we are looking at a new direction for Infosys Prize. The last 15 years, our laureates have gone on to win bigger prizes, Fields Medal, the Nobel Prize. Their work has had impact on society, and 15 years is a time when you want to introspect and look at can we increase the impact that this prize can have on the research ecosystem in India. Can it encourage more students, youth to take careers in science? We decided to one, change the cutoff age for the candidates. The cutoff age is now 40 years as of November 1, 2024. So that becomes the cutoff age. Previously, the cutoff age was 50 years. We want to identify researchers early on so that we can give them a longer runway to do follow-on research. And hopefully, because we are recognizing them earlier and giving them a longer runway, their contribution to research, to science, to the world would be bigger. Second, we also felt that identifying them early on will inspire youngsters again, youth, because they see now that this is something that they can achieve early on. They don't have to wait for a long period of time early on. So that is the second reason. We have looked around other medals, etc., like the Fields Medal, the Class Award, etc. medal, and again the cutoff criteria is 40 years. So this is a change that we are making. The second is a minor change. Previously, economics was part of social sciences. Now we have created a separate category for economics, and social sciences and humanities are clubbed together. So humanities and social sciences becomes a category, and economics becomes a category. The four other categories are the same: life sciences, physical sciences, mathematical sciences, engineering sciences, and computer science. So those categories remain the same. The purpose for the prize remains the same, and for this I'm going to request Narayan Murthy to talk about the purpose, the vision behind Infosys Prize.
Thank you, Chris. When Infosys completed 25 years in 2006, the senior management sat down and discussed an issue that we all felt was very important. This country has given us so much. This world has given all of us so much. So we have to show our gratitude in some way. Therefore, the 6 or 7 people that were part of that meeting decided to contribute about 50% of the corpus from their own funds. And at that time, Chris, 2007, we graduated. At that time, Chris was the president. And Chris was very kind enough to say that Infosys will add another 50%. Our desire was to create role models for our young researchers so that they too could do inventions and innovations comparable with the best in the world. And after much discussions, as Chris pointed out, we created 5 categories. And after a few years, we separated humanities from social sciences because Professor Amartya Hussain felt that it should be done. And as a very progressive, thinking, innovative, discussing and debating organization that both Infosys and Infosys Science Foundation have been, we felt that while the current model of having winners below 50, we felt that the country is moving forward. There are more IITs now, there are more ICERs, more IISc, there is tremendous confidence in the country. We said maybe it's time for us to look at a model that will retain all the wonderful advantages that the previous model had, but in addition add some more, which Chris again spoke about, which is providing a longer runway. That's how we have arrived at the current model. And as I was speaking to some of you earlier, we also looked at, for example, some of the most important inventions and innovations, at least in STEM area, came from people in their 20s and 30s. For example, Alan Turing, when he enunciated the Turing machine, which is the theoretical foundation for computers, he was just 24. When Albert Einstein enunciated his special theory of relativity, he was just 26. When Ramanujan did his wonderful work in pure mathematics, he was in his early 20s. When Dr. Chandrasekhar, late Chandrasekhar, he came out with Chandrasekhar limit, which is the mass of a white dwarf to be stable has to be less than or equal to 1.44 times that of sun. He was just 25 when he submitted that thesis to the Cambridge University. When you look at John Fonheim, who introduced the idea of stored program computers, he was just 38. And of course, he was in the Institute for Advanced Study, which is the theoretical institute. So he had to take permission from them to construct the world's first stored program computers, and he successfully completed that experiment at the age of 41 and a half. Similarly, look at von Neumann. Von Neumann completed his game theory at the early 30s. So after looking at both India and outside India, we felt that the trustees, and of course there was discussion with the jury chairs, we all felt that as an innovative, progressive organization, we will take advantage of all the wonderful things that have happened in the current model, and we will experiment with the new. That's the reason why we.
Thank you, Murthy. We also are requiring now the winners who are outside the country to spend about 13 days over a period of time, and this can be over 1 or 2 trips, in a research institute in India, so that one, they can bring their work to India or collaborate with researchers here in India, and again, interact and encourage students, PhD students, maybe even undergraduate students, to interact and work with them. So that's an additional request that we are making. It's a desirable thing, and we are hoping that our audience will accept that and will spend some time in India so we can create more collaborations. Now I want to introduce Dr. Pratima Murthy, who has joined as a trustee at Infosys Science Foundation. As you know, Dr. Pratima Murthy is at Infosys. Is the full-term director of the institute as of June 18, 2021. Before that, she was a professor and head of department of psychiatry at Infosys. She has over 30 years of experience in the field of mental health. She was instrumental in the successful development of state-of-the-art Center for Addiction Medicine at Infosys, and has been an active researcher, continues to be an active researcher in the area of addiction. In addition, Dr. Murthy has international exposure and experience, has served as consultant to prominent international agencies such as the United Nations Office on Drug and Crime, the International Labour Organization, and the World Health Organization. Recently, she has provided leadership and support to the Telemanus Mental Health Initiative in the country and the Brain Health Initiative in Karnataka. Under her leadership, Infosys has been awarded the WHO Nelson Mandela Prize for Health Promotion. I think this is the recent recognition. So would you briefly, if you can make sense.
Thank you very much, Chris. At the outset, I just wanted to express that it's a great honor to be involved with the Infosys Science Foundation, and the fact that ever since 25 years of starting with Infosys, this prize was instituted and in so many different categories. We've also heard, and I'm sure all of you know, the different kinds of people who won these awards and how they've kind of continued to nurture their areas and have discoveries in the areas and gone on to a lot of greater achievements. In addition, of course, to being in charge of an institution like Infosys, I'm also at heart both a clinician and researcher. So I think that again makes me very excited to be in this foundation and to look at what's happening in terms of the changes. They say change is the only constant. And one of the things that we need to see is not slightly older people who have made significant contribution, which in itself is a great thing. But I also think we need to nurture young minds and young talents, so that in their career ahead of them, they start thinking about more national priorities, more global priorities, and working, for example, in the country or with professionals in the country gives them that ability. And I'm sure this prize will give them the head start to be able to do things in their career which will definitely improve lives for people in our country. And we know that inculcating a scientific temper is extremely critical to being able to pursue good discoveries, innovations, inventions, as well as achievements. So in their achievements, of course their personal achievements are going to be critical, but if we can, those achievements can then translate into things that improve things for citizens in our country, I think that will be great. And particularly, in some of the areas that I work in, it's going to be very exciting to see changes in the way we look after people, we prevent, adversities, we intervene early in adversities, we overcome adversities. we also know that it's not just people and people's lives, but the environment is also critical to make the improvement. We're all aware of the adversities that we all have to face. So I think there again, looking at discovery, looking at scientific ways of changing not just our lives but our environments as well for the betterment of humanity is going to be very critical. And I'm sure these people who are going to be awardees in future will address some of these needs. So I just wanted to say I'm very excited to be here. Amidst you, thank you very much for this.
Thank you, Pratima. I want to also say that the cycle, the award cycle remains the same. The nomination cycle is already started for this year's prize. The announcement, we hope to do this in November as usual, and the prize ceremony, award ceremony will be in January of 2025. So the cycle remains the same, and another reason for this interaction today is through you, reach out to the nominators, reach out to prospective candidates to apply for the award, and take advantage of the prize in bigger numbers. Thank you. Over to you for the interaction. Getting the people together, getting the collaboration started requires probably 30 days or less, but then the work continues.
Hi, gentlemen.
And also you have to remember, see, these are people who are at research labs doing research work, for them to kind of spend more time will also be difficult. That's why we have given the flexibility of 30 days over a period of time, 1 or 2 years, maybe 1 or 2 trips, and at an institute of the choice. Yes, sorry. Go ahead.
So since AI and generative AI and newer technologies are the buzzword, the newer will you consider new awardees for this? And the second question is on will AI replace more jobs in the longer run, or will it create more jobs?
Well, I think this is for the jury, guided by the jury chair to decide what specific areas they should look at in the science each year. Obviously, currently, generative AI on the large language models, these are all very topical subjects. And the reality of any new technology is that if we human beings use these technologies as assistive technologies, then it will do a lot. However, there are some areas where jobs will have to be replaced. For example, if you try to reconcile the ledger in a bank, it used to take a long time when the number of customers were very small. Today, it is almost impossible. So there will be tasks like autonomous driving, like control in hazardous situations, where jobs will be replaced for the betterment of the human kind. However, in the rest of the areas, I don't think that should be a worry as long as human mind, which is the most flexible instrument, will use these technologies. And I'm sure the jury will look at all the issues in deciding who to give their prizes. But at the end of the day, it has to be research. It has to advance the frontiers of research in that.
Any questions?
Are there any other questions? Thank you. Then I think that I know that trustees have explained this very comprehensively, and you are sticking to the brief and talking around the topic. So there's only so much to say. But we thank you all for coming here, and thank you all for coming here. Again, on a positive note, do continue to amplify this message. Your support is very much still needed, especially with our new direction. Thank you. There's lunch served outside. Please join us for lunch, and if you want a photo, I think the trustees can stand. And then